boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today, let's start today with the Yakuza 3 Remastered, a game developed by Gotoku Studio, it's hard to pronounce, and ported over to the PC thanks to Keylock, which is a studio that usually all it does it is porting games to the PC. They already ported tons of Japanese titles, so it's not the first time. So they are using their internal engine. This is the time where they aren't really using their new engine, which is called the Dragon engine. This is their old engine, and so it feels more dated. For this game, I will be playing at 1440p with an FPS cap of 60. So this game can't go over 60, even if you select FPS on auto. It just, as you can see, it locks at 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second, it is really the maximum you can go in this game. And if you can't achieve the 60 frames per second, the game will just run in slow motion. So you either get 60, or you either get 30, or you get slow motion. So this is the ultra settings. As you can see, everything it is maxed out. There is a slight difference in here for the anti-aliasing, which you can select CMAA. I think it's a type of anti-aliasing that it is very similar to FXA. I'm not really sure which one it is the best, but for example, if I stay in here, I'm using 70% of the GPU using the CMAA, and if I put it back to Ultra, which uses FXAA, my GPU usage jumps to 74%. So it seems that FXAA is more demanding than CMAA, but I'm not really sure which one it is really the best. Alright, it feels like if you want more performance, you might want to use CMAA if you have a different system. So you also have in here the resolution scaling bar, which simply raises or decreases the internal resolution of the game. So I'm going to use 100% since I want to match the 1440p experience, and that's it. So looking to the requirements, it is not demanding, and despite this is a remastered title, it is just slightly remastered. It's just prepared for nowadays, so they do recommend an AMD Ryzen HD 7870 or the GTX 660. So at 1080p, I was able to get 60 frames per second all the time. There were just some slight fluctuations in there, but that is the Fraps fault. The Fraps, when it registers frame rate, it have a little bit this behavior, unfortunately. So the same can be said for 1440p. So at ultra settings, it was locked at 60 frames per second. Although when you raise the resolution to 4K, the story changes a little bit. So at 4K, for example, using ultra settings, my frame rate was under 60 frames per second. And so like I did told you, when you get under 60 frames per second, the game just runs at slow motion, so you need to lock it at 30. Same can be said to the eye settings, that also runs lower than 60 frames per second. And so if you really want to have 60 frames per second on Yakuza 3, you need to drop down the settings to median settings. And there are some quite visual downgrades when using median settings, because median settings already disable screen space ambient occlusion, but that's your choice. So my recommended settings for this game, it is to play at 1440p maximum settings. If you are going to play at 1080p, you can also use maximum settings with no issues whatsoever. Both the resolutions will deliver 60 frames per second, no issues. But if you go with 4K, my recommendation it is to stick around with median settings to achieve the 60 frames per second, which I think it is the best for this game. But for some reason, if you want to play at 30, my recommendation it is to go at 4K ultra settings. So that's pretty much all that you can expect from the performance on the GTX 1650 Super. Now we'll talk a little bit about the game and show you a little bit of gameplay. Well, Yakuza 3 follows pretty much the gameplay of the predecessor, so it's pretty much the same thing. It was released in 2009 originally for the PS3, but now we got this remastered version, which is available for the PS4, PC, and also now Xbox. So the good thing about it is that we finally have nearly all the Yakuzas on the PC, and it's nice to Finally, we have these old games that I don't know. Many people might have a PS3 before and decide to sell it and buy a PS4 or buy a PC or anything like it. And if you are one of the guys that are missing those games, it is nice to have them in the PC and at a great price. So, for example, if you want to buy Yakuza 3 solely, I mean only the Yakuza 3, you can go to Steam and buy the game for 20 euros. So I don't think it is expensive given the experience that Yakuza grants us. But if you want to buy a full package with the Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4 and Yakuza 5, which is the complete remastered collection, which are free games, so it's on sale on Steam for around 40 euros. So it's like you pay for 2 games and you receive free, because if you are going to play standalone Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4 and Yakuza 5, you will pay about $60 or 6 euros, because it's 20 euros each one of them. But if you pick up the pack containing Yakuza 3, 4 and 5, you will be only paying 40. Or better deal ever, if you have Xbox Game Pass, I will let you know that you now have the Yakuza collection available there, which means that if you are a Xbox Game Pass subscriber, you have now access to the games and you can install Yakuza collection, which again includes Yakuza 3, 4 and 5. Yakuza 6, I think it will be debuted to the PC later this year. I'm not 100% sure about it, but I think yes. And when that happens, I think we will have the full collection of Yakuza. There is still other games missing, like not inside the Yakuza series, but it is developed by the same developer team, which is the Judgment. It's a game that I want to also see on the PC, coming from the same developer team. But for now, reaching the end of this year and having the entire collection of Yakuza on PC, I think it's a great deal. And for people that love this type of game, you should really go for it. And in case you don't know what type of game this is an open world game which contains tons and tons and tons of conversation. Alright, it's that type of Japanese game where you talk a lot and go and do weird fetch quests. It's goofy, it's very goofy, alright. And it is a brawler and contains tons of mini quests and mini games, and that's why Yakuza is well known, because it just contains so much stuff, weird stuff inside the game, that it makes it funny. So, and contains all the typical anime Japanese goofiness stuff on the talk. You know, it's very Japanese title, alright, and it is also the main thing in combat in this game. It is being a brawler, alright. So you just evolve your character and you get into yourself inside into these brawling events where you need to fight multiple enemies at the same time. In this video you will be only seeing me fighting this one, but you can see that I can pick up anything like bicycles, tables and chairs and hit them up. So since I've never finished or even played decently Yakuza before, I don't really know how to fight decently. I'm pretty sure there are tons of tricks that I can use, but unfortunately on this video I just tried to beat the guy and I didn't knew too much how I could perform those nice tricks, so I'm sorry for that. So guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about Yakuza 3. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
覚悟はいいな。ああ。行くぜ！はっ！痛いの見してやるぜ。くっ！せい！うん！うら！結構やるな。結構やるな。うら！出て！うら！ 結構やるな。結構やるな。結構やるな。ほら結構やるな。ほら寝てろ。スイッスイッほらスイッスイよスイッスイッスイッほらスイよほら結構やるな。スイよほら結構やるな。スイッスイよスイよスイッスイよほらスイッスイッほら結構やるな。結構やるな。結構やるな。結構やるな。スイッスイッ兄貴くそどうなってんだこいつは。どうだ内地の腰抜けのおっさんのパンチは痛かったか。約束だ。お前の親父のところに案内してもらおうか。はい、わかりました。ええ。ナイス。じゃあ こちらです。どうぞ。今親父を呼んできます。少しお待ちください。
おう、待たせたな、客人。あんたが桐生さんか。うちの力也が可愛がってもらったようだな。
あんたに話があってきた。
ああ、立ち退きの件だろ。
そうだ。どうして俺らが立ち退かなきゃならないのか、訳が知りたい。
さき。おいさき。ちょっとこのおじちゃんと話があるんだ。部屋に戻っててもらえるかな。